team going into this, but that's not to say that these guys can't come in here and surprise us all. In fact, I would love for that to happen. Going into the draft here, Notch, are we going to see FaZe make it through the bands? That's what I want to. That's what I want to see.
I want to see it. I know Nabori is a support player, so I want to see him on some FaZe. Bands coming up though. We've got Bronze Army on the blue side and Hoist the Colors HTC over on the orange. I mean, I expect more Agesh Revenant bands, to be completely honest. I would not be surprised if we see that, and of course FaZe in that list as well. Bronze Army taking some time deciding here, who do we ban first? And they pick up Mortagesh. They said no, the Voodoo Witch Doctor cannot play, and so they banned her. And that was a quick ban from Hoist Colors. They said get Grux out of here, which
that means FaZe is on the field.
Yeah,
let's see what Bronze Army decides to do. There's a lot of really good first picks they can go with. They can go with Revenant, they can go with Decker, they can go with FaZe, they can go with Bellica. Like, all of those are first pick material. And there it is. It's going to be FaZe, the first FaZe on the Paragon Competitive League channel, the first FaZe of the Qualifier event. First FaZe that we get to cast here today. I can't speak for the other stream, but I'm excited to see what I'm not sure who the support player is for Bronze Army. I know Nabori plays a lot of Decker. Yeah, I was going to say, it wouldn't surprise me if he's a support player. Picking up that FaZe there. And what FaZe, now that she's finally picked, we can talk about her in depth. I've been wanting to talk about her in depth for quite some time. She is the queen of utility. She's the queen of utility now. She has so much utility, but her big weakness is lack of hard crowd control.
Yep. Hoist the Colors is actually going to pick up two strong heroes, Shane. They're going to pick up a Seraph, and they're going to pick up a Greystone. So are we going to see Seraph? It is very early in the draft, but are we going to see Seraph as a true carry in this particular match, with Greystone being an offlaner? Bronze Army with their next pick, Chimera. Shane, a lot of Chimera. You said it. You said we see a lot of Chimera. So good jungler choice. I expect a mid lane or carry to be picked up, and they go with Twin Blast. I like this draft already on the side of Bronze Army. Very strong early game and initiation. Plus, you have that phase, which can allow you to play a little bit more recklessly with her telekinetic link and pull you out of harm's way.
Which, if you think about it, last time Chimera was picked, I spoke about his biggest weakness. Maybe not weakness, but exploitable part of his kit is that he's either all for nothing, and FaZe comes into the field and completely negates that. Chimera now has a tool, a reliant tool, to get him out of a situation that he doesn't want to be in. So I really like FaZe Chimera combination, as well as you consider the ultimate, allowing him to just ambush constantly, and the attack speed and everything else, get his region up. Very, very good synergy between those two heroes. Other side of the field, Hoist the Colors, man. They just have a beefy team thus far, with the exception of Howitzer. But everyone's, I mean, look at all that beautiful shining armor on their side of the field. They look like they're at a Game of Thrones or something at this stage.
They don't have a support yet. I expect them to pick up Decker, but we'll see here in the next. So Howitzer Kwong picked up, and then over on the other side of the map, Bronze Army picking up Bellica for their mid lane, which means, well, is it their mid lane? It could be their off lane. We don't know.
Could be.
Which means they have another choice here. Gadget, Gideon. There's no true CC yet, so it'll be interesting to see who they pick up. I'm going to say, because Decker's still available,
I would like. I know, actually. I mean,
there's no CC right now, unless the other team picks up Bellica or Decker. I think the safe bet would be picking up Gadget instead of going with Gideon, because if you pick up that CC, and that's what they do, they pick up the Gadget. So I mean, Narbash or Decker is what I'm expecting.
I actually like Narbash. I mean, Decker's not a bad choice. That's what we're going to go with. But I actually would have loved to see Narbash there, to be honest, because Narbash sets up Greystone and Seraph, I think, a little bit better than Decker, in my personal honest opinion. Can I say something? Every time I say Seraph, my phone thinks I'm saying Siri, and it prompts my phone to have Siri pop up, and it's really annoying. Anyways. So I actually would have liked Narbash there, but I think Decker's still an always solid option. You can't go wrong with the Decker.
Combos well with Howitzer.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. That's a good point.
Looking at these drafts, I feel like Hoist the Colors has such a nasty front line and engage that the longer this game goes, the more trouble Bronze Army is going to have. They have to finish this quickly. They have to get in. They have to be hyper aggressive from the start. And if they're not, Hoist the Colors just takes this because of engage with that Greystone Kwong combination as we transition into the mid late game here. So I'm at 5 seconds in the replay. I don't know about you, my friend, but I'm ready to jump in and see how this game plays out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into this game between Bronze Army and Hoist the Colors. I would say, let us know what you think in chat. My opinion, I think this draft is pretty 50-50. Both of these drafts both have their own individual strengths, but also exploitable weaknesses that they can try to capitalize on. We'll see what's going to go down. I'm going to have the honor, the pleasure, the distinct honor and pleasure of introducing Bronze Army. Nabori going for that Chimera cosplay status over at twitch.tv/gamer fitness group on FaZe, Taboo _ on Gadget, Me So Sneaky on Twin Blast, the Cranky Trash Can on Chimera, and XI Josh -- on the Lieutenant Bellica.
Over on the side of Hoist the Colors, I use nukes. That is very dangerous. You should reconsider that on Quang, Nibix on Greystone, Big Al 1490 on Howitzer, and Revan Reborn is going to be playing the Master Seraph X Deadly X Omen X is going to be on Decker.
As far as the early game goes, you got a Chimera. I mean, Chimera's just, he hits level 5 and he turns into an assassin. He's one of the best early game assassins in the game. He's not as reliant. He has 1v1 potential. He's not as reliant as other junglers on securing kills. Grux 1v1 potential. Grux doesn't kill people very, very quickly. He generally needs some help. Chimera, though, all he needs is a call, maybe like a Madstone Gem or some other, an Adamant Edge, whatever he elects to go with after he picks up his ward and his, I almost called it a key. I keep calling them keys, Notch. There haven't been keys for like 9 months. The Jungle Siphon or the Jungle Scythe. And he can pretty much take out any squishy hero. And another thing that Chimera is very good at is dealing with, just dealing with immobile heroes and keeping them in the same spot, especially pre-level 5 Greystone. I won't be surprised if we see Cranky Trash Can rotate over to that side of the map and try to really punish him before he gets that reforged online.
So one thing we haven't seen, Shane, a lot of, we've seen it in the past, but it's been a while, is Seraph actually playing in a true safe lane position. When you look at players like TeamReborn.net and Reflect, they tend to play her in the off lane as a secondary carry. This one is going to be their true carry here. Do you feel like that puts Hoist the Colors at a disadvantage, not having that long-range poke of, let's say, a Revenant and or Murdoch or Sparrow?
I think it is a weakness, but at the same time, there's a lot of strengths to it. Seraph does an insane amount of damage, and they also have, the big thing about Seraph is you never want her to be your lone frontliner. Ever, 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 ever. And they do have another frontliner in both, two actually, in both Quang and the Greystone. So a good Decker ultimate, just keeping someone in place. Once Seraph hits her crit bonus, you know, 4th item, maybe around that mid 40 card experience level, her DPS output is just absolutely insane, as well as her mobility is way better than any other of the other carries as far as on-demand mobility, being able to exploit terrain, so on and so forth. And I actually really think safe lane Seraph has a lot of merit to it. I think teams maybe not have that fully understood, because yes, it can be awkward by having your carry being melee, but you can overcome that through your draft, through your play style, and just through other means inside of the field. And I think that they have done a good job of negating that weakness through just their draft as a whole. We'll see how they end up playing this as the game goes on.
I mean, they definitely have the draft for it. If you look at Quang and Nibix on Greystone, they have the draft to have another melee their carry, because they've got such a devastating front line and engage there. So it's the draft favors this pick. I mean, I would like to see FaZe, over Decker with Revenant for that, or I'm sorry, with Seraph, because of that ultimate and that insane attack speed. But they do have a draft. Again, if this game goes late, I gotta say Hoist the Colors has a nasty draft, and I want to give it to Hoist the Colors based off of their draft here. But that being said, we look at Bronze Army. We look at the team they've played quite a few games, and as you said, they've been on the cusp of greatness. They've come very close to knocking out some of the top teams. So they know how to play well. We are going to be watching. Me personally, going to be watching how Nabori builds this hero. What build order she goes with hero. I know for me personally, I like Telekinetic League for that extra burst healing, that the regen you get from it. A lot of aggressive players are going to go more with Energy Lance and her blind. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out as well there. But again, like you said, 50-50 draft. I personally think Hoist the Colors has this here. It's going to see how well does Chimera do, how Cranky Trash Can and those engagements. looking at his ganks, looking at who he's targeting and whether they're able to blow that target up with an ambush, a cull, and then be so sneaky coming in and securing some kills.
He's just so sneaky. Like, I can't get over how sneaky he is.
He's
how sneaky is he? Like on a scale from like 1 to sneaky, how sneaky is he?
He's definitely sneaky. He's definitely me so sneaky.
Chimera going some work.
For Chimera. Chimera was looking to try and wrap around and go for a gank. He was going to find one mid lane here on the Big Al.
Like, he just like walked past Howitzer like, "What's up, man?" and continued like a little drive-by high five, like good games, you know. I thought he was just going to go on the Howitzer. He just like casually walks by him. That kind of took me off guard there, but instead going after the Amber Link. This is definitely an objective that that's a lot of newer teams really don't exploit as well as they should. We see, you know, all the good guys, I'm sorry, that came out entirely wrong, but as if these guys are the bad guys. All of the more experienced teams, they make very concerted, aggressive pushes onto the Amberlink invasions inside of the jungle quite frequently. And the amount of card experience as a whole cumulative that the Amberlink gives, if you're able to negate that, that actually can, you know, 2 or 3 invasions taking out Amberlinks could be, you know, overall 1 to 2 card points, or, you know, a whole card point across the entire team, equating to 5 full card points for your entire team. During that, we did see First Blood was picked up there. Decker was taken out, but that's just a support. Still, that's a good way to get your offlane going, is to get him a little bit of room, a little bit of a confidence boost. Yeah, right, Notch? You tell me.
2v1 situation there. Josh was going to go in. He's going to pick up the support. You want to be the carry. Bellica went in and then it picked that up there. I went in, boys.
Oh, you guys have the same name.
But Josh goes in. He ends up landing the wonderful Bellica combo of Seismic Assault, Void Bomb, Neural Disruptor. Of course, there was a Void drone placed as well. He's got to be careful. Revan Reborn is coming in. The stun is going to just miss. And Joshua's going to be safe here. But he is being very aggressive in this lane. There hasn't been any rotation or punishment from the jungle here. I'd like to see him pushed up.
Notch, you're a fan of Knights of Old Republic, right?
Yes. I was waiting for you to reference.
Oh, I just saw his name. The moment you said his name out loud, I was like, what? And speaking of which, he's going to need to be reborn, because more than likely he's going to get taken out. Taboo zaps him with the electrical charge coming out there from Gadget. And also throws the sticky bomb and gets a kill as well. Double kill over to Gadget. Bronze Army, we said that they're a coordinated team, that they've been playing together for some time, and they've put up decent results in previous competitive events. And off to a great start. 3-0. Raptors responding here in 2 minutes. 9-minute mark is a minute away for the next gold buff and river buffs. And that's the way to go. Oh, man. We actually see it. Yeah, there's an evasion coming out here from Chimera onto IU's nukes. And he's just going to... There it goes.
The Grouch is just going to hack away. He's just going to hack. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? And I
live in a trash can!
No, I'm not going to tell you. Leave me alone.
He's going to continue to try to get chased down here by Revan. R2000 rocket. If a Chastise is there for a snare, but he has too much regen. He was able to just roam around and get the kill. That's what you want to see Chimera. Chimera he can invade a jungler, in my opinion, in that sort of way, better than any other jungler inside the game. Yes, Crux can do it well. Rampage can do it well. But Chimera is the guy, if you like just being a nuisance, even if you don't get a kill there, just being a nuisance and putting your opponent's jungler on the back foot has very far extending implications throughout the course of the game. Of course, getting the kill is even better. And that's exactly what he was able to do there. But this is what I'm saying. Now that Mad Spore Sash was buffed, which I believe is what he's picked up here, and overall the changes to the cards, phase as well, I think synergizes with Chimera ridiculously. I really expect to see more Chimera picks up here from the more established teams that you really wouldn't expect up until this point.
Yeah. Bellica is being pushed under her tower. She is going to be safe. Unfortunately, her combo is going to miss on Revan Reborn. Taboo is rotating in behind her. Are they going to be able to pick up these kills, Shane? Look, she's purple. She's invisible. Nobody knows. They don't know she's there, Shane. Revan, you got to be careful.
I don't know. She's just body blocking at this point. Is there? Oh, she doesn't have mana for Ascend. She's gonna get taken out. Gotta respect. You gotta let your team know. Oh man, can I just say Bellica's ultimate? So satisfying. It feels so good. It's just the sound of it. Beautifully done. On for Bellica there.
They pick up both of those kills though, Shane. I mean, the rotations from Taboo have been on point, man. She's done a really good job pushing and punishing this lane with Josh. and they're going to go ahead and pick up a tier 1 tower. You got to give it to Taboo in those mid lane rotations, keeping her lane pushed. That for me is a sign of a good mid laner, one that's able to rotate and help her team out.
And Gadget's not really a mid laner that you expect to be very roam heavy. Normally you see that out of like a Bellica or out of like a Gideon or something like that. Gadget is generally a hero that provides strength through other means other than rotation and damage, but Taboo says nope. This is Assassin Gadget through and through. I mean, he's 3-0-1, has really been the MVP of this match thus far, undoubtedly, and through all those kills that he's granted, tier 1 tower in the mid lane, sure to fall. And this is a pretty early tier 1 tower, but more importantly, it's going to open themselves up for Raptors as they were able to get the off lane tower put down as well. So all the tier 1 towers down, 11 minutes in, they're going to pick up these Raptors, and I don't think there's any possible way for them to contend this.
No,
Hoist to contend it.
We talked about that. You mentioned a little bit earlier, but Madspore Sash and why can I remember the order one? Radiant Mantle have made a comeback with those buffs. It wasn't a huge buff. It went from 10 damage to 12, and instead of only doing ×1 player level, it was 1.5. And we've seen a lot of people run that in the jungle on Sevarog or Chimera. We've also seen some offlaners use it on Kwong and on Greystone as well. So it's definitely made a comeback. It was a card we saw a lot of in Legacy. But now we've seen a lot
like
of
everyone
changed it here. Yeah, so the change to it has definitely made it a card that's being picked up quite a bit now. That additional energy damage or the additional ability damage, it's got decent range on it. I know I've picked up a couple kills just chasing out of melee range, but the ability damage still ticking. So it's got good range, and it just is a great little source of additional damage that the team really
great for
can't do much about. Yeah.
It really helps. Definitely one of Chimera's biggest weaknesses is his lack of wave clear. And it just supplements that even more so inside the jungle. But more importantly, if he needs to go deal with a wave that's pushing or something like that, it isn't going to take him forever to clear up that wave. So just overall smart pickup choice. Radiant Mantle on Narbash, guys. Just go offlane Narbash. Offlane, just hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Offlane Narbash.
Oh, God.
Radiant Mantle. Adamant Edge. 1v1 anyone. Doesn't matter. You're Assassin Bash. Check it out. You guys should do it. It's great. It's great. I'll put a guide out on it later. It'll be great.
Least viewed Paragon guide ever.
Howitzer's in some trouble. He's going to ascend to the skies to try to keep himself up, but pardon the pun, but he is going to get taken down by the sticky bomb latched onto him. They're fighting inside of this Tesla Dome. That's not what you want to do. Seraph went in after the fact. Greystone was immediately popped into his second life, and Seraph was just isolated and completely taken out very quickly by a single target damage. 3 down on the side of Hoist the Colors. And this might possibly be a tier 2 push. If you take a look at the health bars and mana bars of Bronze Army, they are all topped off with maybe the exception of Gadget. And if they, they could do a tier 2 tower push, and that's looks like they're going to do. They're swing over to the left side of the map and want to take away those jump pads of their opponent here pretty early on, 14 minutes, just about.
Jump pads, GG, no re, game over.
Surrender.
At that point.
Epic needs to add a option under the surrender as to why you surrendered, as because it had no jump pads.
I had no jump pads. We couldn't take it anymore. And jump pads are going to fall. Just somebody sneeze on it. They do pick up the kill there. Or they secure the tower. So you open up this side of the map, Shane. Set this lane. And the big thing now is that they set this lane, and it's going to open up the Orb Prime for them. Because you're going to have to deal with it. Do we just let minions free push into our inhibitor? No, sir, you don't. Taboo continuing to be aggressive on another tier 2 tower. I don't think he's going to be able to get it because he's alone. The rotation is coming, but
Frankie Trashcan is just tanking all the damage in the world. There's the first ultimate. He tried to ambush, but he got knocked up. This is maybe a moment if they can take out Chimera, but he's just not taking damage. In fact, he's the one who turns around and uses the call, and he gets him taken out right there. Health bar not receding because of a little bit of a display bug, but that's okay. He still survived nonetheless. That was a decent engagement. They actually caught someone out in the Decker containment field, and I thought they might be able to pick up a kill, but Chimera's not really the target you want to be focusing down notch. You want to be finding the Gadget, the Phase, or the Twin Blast, not necessarily the Chimera. Still, they had a moment to shine, and unfortunately it got shut down real quick, and now an inhibitor 15 minutes in being under siege, and I'm pretty confident they're going to be able to pick this up. Revan, rather, is back onto the field. And he is enough. The Heaven's Fury actually is going to be enough for him to, the team of Bronze Army to sound the horn of retreat. Raptors are up here in a minute. Notch, we've been seeing very early orb primes around this 15-minute mark. I won't be surprised if we see Bronze Army do the same.
With both sides of the map open up like this, you really have a choice of Raptors and orb prime. I like you said, I would not be surprised if we see that, because like you said, they have the advantage, Shane. They've got both sides of the map open up. They've got Phase with the health regen that could keep you tanky or alive forever. So they really have control over this map here. Maybe push down the mid tier 2 just because you can. But Orb Prime, I would say we're probably going to see in the next minute or two.
Lanes are set, backing up, purchasing all their cards. I think Twinblast had something like 10 points to spend or something.
Only 10?
Like that. I mean, let's be a little modest here, Notch. This Carry Seraph, though, really hasn't been playing out 0-5-0, and I think it's just simply come down to the fact that when you're playing a Carry Seraph, you have to know when it's your turn to engage. You can't, you don't have the luxury of being able to sit back and being patient and just pop it off on people. You have to be very, very decisive about when to engage and very coordinated with your other frontliners, in this case, the Greystone and the Kwang. And if those don't line up, then you get punished very, very easily. And that's essentially what's been happening. Seraph has much less room for error, but if you're able to play inside of her to her strengths and you play to that, then she is able to provide massive amounts of AoE damage. That simply has not been the case.
So much damage, Shane.
Reforged already down. The call used to keep him in place so he cannot storm the gates or get away or any of those typical Greystone shenanigans. How many times have you got a Greystone down you thought he was for sure going to get taken out and then he jumps away from me and runs away at the last second? Call being used to make sure that doesn't happen. Judging by the movement of these teams, Notch, or Prime might be on the plate.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like Bronze Army is rotating that way. Chimera just picked up the purple buff. He can zone if he decides. He's not going to. That's the target I want taking it. And that's exactly what he's going to do here. We are going to have to see a response out of Hoist the Colors. They have to come over here and do something. You know, you're talking about Revan Reborn not really being much of a factor. I'm going to put that down. What a good...
Miso Sneaky's isolated. This is what they needed to turn around, but Revan didn't go in on time. He hesitated, and there was no follow-up from what otherwise was a great containment fence. Now Seraph goes in, but Cranky is there. The Tomahawk slicing him down with the call once again. 4 go down. That's a triple as well, inevitably going to be an Orb Prime. And with only Greystone on the field and no secondary life with Reforged online, this could be the death march. Cranky has to back because he doesn't have much health, but I actually don't... I mean, he has the regen. Maybe he's going to go spend. I'm not sure. Nonetheless, even with a 4-man push, they still have plenty of time with no howitzer, 20 seconds. The waves are pushed in, and they're actually looking for Greystone here. If they can catch him out, that could just be the game. Not going to be the case, but still, very difficult situation for Hoist the Colors to defend and maintain their stability inside of this game.
So you look at that engagement, and that was what was going to be a damn good engagement from those guys. The big issue, lack of damage. 17 card power. Revan sitting at 17 card power. He's got Void Steel Daggers online, and he's got a Spear of the Rift Hunter. There was just not enough damage going out under that into that containment fence. And you've got such a lead on the side of Bronze Army that they really could do what they want. I use Nukes is going to get taken out by a sticky bomb there. This is Bronze Army's match. The Revan Reborn being shut down early by Joshua and Taboo has really made her a non-factor in these engagements.
And Cranky can just tank for days. He's essentially taking 3 people at a time as well as a tier 2 tower. Taboo's going to try to give him a little bit of means of egress here and actually pick up a kill at the same time. A little bit of multitasking can go a long way here at Paragon. Free to download. Make sure you pick it up and give it a shot here, guys. Mid inhibitor's under siege, but right now that's not the main priority for the rest of the team. They want to get more of these kills. They want to go for the throat. They want to get the game. They get all 5. Mid inhibitor to fall. The siege minion falling. Prime card still activated. They're not going to commit to the push. Instead, falling back to get the other tier 2 tower, as well as all the meanwhile left side of the map. Meanwhile, left lane, as so they say, that tower's getting sieged down by minions. I'm not sure how they're going to keep themselves in the game here.
The reason they're taking these extra towers is because with the change to the core and the inhibitors, the more inhibitors that are up, the core attacks faster. So this will slow down that 110 damage every, I think it's a second with all of them up. and it just makes it easier for them to push this core down.
There we go.
Nukes is going to get picked up. He's going to get killed here. There's a make it rain, Shane. This is his last-ditch effort. We have to do something here. I don't think it's going to happen. And Bronze Army is going to pick up a win. Really good gameplay out of Bronze Army, Shane. They move on. They beat this round, and we not knowing how their other games played out today. You got to give it up for them, dude. Nabori on that hero played really well. There was a lot of pulls coming out of him, keeping his hero alive. But for me, dude, MVP was Grouch, Cranky Trash Can.
I couldn't agree more, man. He was whistling that tune the entire time, as well as I know a lot of you are more than likely as well. Maybe that should be the next Twitch streamathon. You know, they did like Bob Ross. They need to do Sesame Street next. I don't know. DJ Week, get at me.
900 episodes. So I don't think they can do that.
There's like 1,000 episodes of Mr. Rogers.
Shh.
Anyways, we digress. Welcome to the North American qualifiers for the exhibition event. A lot's going down right here. Bronze Army, yeah, they looked good. They looked in good fashion. They looked in good form. I think going up against maybe a more established team with the way that they played right there, I could definitely see them. They're probably the most favored underdog, if you will, out of all the teams in the field. They're known, but they haven't ever been able to break through into like a finals or anything like that, or even maybe to the quarterfinals, something like that. But if they continue to refine and reiterate and improve, I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to cast them very deep into this into the qualifier.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they're like you said, that team they're an underdog. They've been a team that we've seen play. They've played well, but they've always just been a little bit outclassed by Reborn or Oxygen. So they've always had just where, and I wouldn't even say outclassed. They would just have those matches where you would just see Reborn where they take advantage of one minor mistake. And so they have been refining. Nabori is a brand new pick for them on that support. They did really well. They played as a team here really well. It's going to be interesting to see how they progress through these matches. Guys, that's 4 games casted so far. What we're going to do is take a quick break, see if we can't bring you another game. Shane, really loving the game so far today. We've seen some one-sided matches. We've seen that slow push. And again, Bronze Army coming out, putting on a good show. We're going to take a few minutes, guys. Thank you to you, the community. Thank you to Epic for allowing the PCL to run this qualifier event leading up to the exhibition. And Shane, thanks for casting with me, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, dude. I will go out of my way to cast with you.
Oh, I love you, buddy. We're going to take a quick break, guys. We'll see you in just a few minutes.